Alright, let's generate a world for my Alpha 16 playthrough. If you wouldn't mind subscribing, it would make me happy, and it would kind of make making this video worth it. Also, I kind of want to make money off this, so, do your thing. So, day 1, I spawned in, and I started doing the beginning quests, and a big difference I realize is crouching has the undetected thingy, which is pretty cool. And it's a lot different than the 100%. You're either detected or undetected, which I like better. So, what I'm soon going to realize is that resources are really the way to go in the older the version you get. In this game, like, half my time is spent getting resources, while in, like, future alphas, it's, like, a tenth, maybe. So, I make my way over to the trader, and it's Trader Joel, and there's no door, which I thought was funny at the time. The biggest difference in all the alphas is the skill tree, and in Alpha 16, it's the learn by doing. So, the more you run, the better athletic you are. The more you hit, the stronger you are. And I love this system. So I go over to my first city, and I get a wave of nostalgia. Because seeing the old West towns in Alpha 16 is when I first started watching 7 Days to Die on YouTube. And it's just, whew. And so I see this bar over here, or well, the Shake Shack. But I think this is the place for me to stay. Because perfect size, it's got a small little room out back, and it's perfect. And there's a Big Mama when I was clearing it out. By the way, the older the alpha you get, the more you're gonna have to hit the zombies, because this was ridiculous. I hit it like 50 times and it didn't even go down. Well, it did, and it died. So by that night, I was collecting resources and fortifying the place, because I realized that glass windows that get destroyed in one hit aren't that good. So, to craft a forge, you have to craft bellows, which I need leather for. So I get the leather from the seats in the bar. So overnight, I crack into this safe, and it was not that worth it. I just got 3 diamonds and paper. It was okay. So already by the morning of day 2, I was out there digging dirt, and I was looking for clay soil, but I just kept digging dirt, as well as rocks, because I really needed iron and rock and nitrate and coal for, crafting. And I do craft the forge. I get enough to make the bellows and craft it. And so later that day, I decided to go into the Poppin' Pills, and let me tell you, the amount of pills in that, I was like, ready to have no medical issues whatsoever, because I would have cured them all. And so when I go in the back of the Poppin' Pills, I do find a chemistry station, and because I had found a wrench, I start wrenching it apart. Because using my future knowledge, I know that there's forged iron in it. And forged iron is kind of important. And so by that evening, I crafted an iron reinforced club. There's a totally different level of progression in this. It's like, you do like 10 things before you do another one thing. So the morning of day 3, I decided to crack open this other safe I found in my base, in which I didn't get much either. Just paper. I'm not a secretary. And so I go out to collect more clay soil because I want to make another forge. And so by that noon-ish, I have 2 forges going making iron. With my wrench, I go out wrenching cars, to be exact, for mechanical parts, gas, and iron. There's a lot of resources back in these days. And I start looking to craft a workbench, and I have it all. And I craft it. So I head back to the trader, and I just start buying all the forged iron, mainly because I'm not going to craft all of that, which I proved wrong in another world, because I craft like 500, but I go to buy some forged iron. And all those forges pumping out all that iron, I get some iron tools. And so I really like this skill tree because just like the new one, and well, the skill tree, you level up and you get more. So by that night, I was digging a hole for resources, which is completely useless because resources are all on the rocks that spawn outside on the surface for some reason. And so by the morning of day 4, I'm still down there digging away in the endless rock that is the earth. And so after I'm done digging, I start to go out into more buildings, and there's a lot of breaking and entering, which is the name of a perk, but there's a lot of breaking and entering, and every house is the same formula. You walk in, you find a kitchen, you find a living room, you go to the ceiling or the roof or whatever, and you fight 2 guys up there in the dark, and then you loot like 3 bags. There might be a gun case, if you're lucky, or if it's a different building, but that's it. That's all the POIs in this game by this point. Alpha 19 was the alpha for POIs. Also, did I mention it takes 50 hits to kill a zombie? See? This is what I'm talking about. The lucky gun case, of which you get crap. And so, by day 4, I head back up to the trader with all my crap I found in the locker. And I buy a sledgehammer. 550, or level 550. That is almost near perfect. And I'm broke now. But holy crap, is this thing good. And so by the night, even past 2200, I'm out there collecting resources with my new iron axe. And it is amazing. So for day 5, I will wander over to this other city for more POIs because by this point I cleared out my city. And I find this junkyard looking place. I'm like, oh, I can get some stuff. But I find this vent back here, and I'm like, this leads somewhere. And so I go into the like actual hut house thing, and I notice there's more. And there's stairs, and then there's a door. And it turns out to be that really big underground bunker POI that like disappeared in Alpha 20 for some reason. But like I went in it in the Alpha 19 and it was like super cool. Miss one. Boom. Got him. And so I did go to a crack book on day 1, but I was too low level to get anything good. And so I come back day 5, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to get a couple more books. No. Would you like 3 million years worth of paper for the government? Because that's all I got. I got like 100 or 200 paper from this. I don't craft it. Look at all these gun parts that I can't use because I didn't get the book at the bookstore, and then I can't even craft anything. But I do find the pistol book at the store, and I realized I could combine stuff at the workbench, which I really hadn't done before, and so I start combining the stuff for a really good pistol. really good at the time because I hadn't gone over 200 yet on anything apart from the sledge. It was an okay pistol. Okay. And using that big sledgehammer, I go into this bar. It's so good. This sledgehammer is so good. It's like one shot, one kill. It's so good. But I do get stuck in that other city, so I just kind of wait there for 6 hours overnight. And there's Wandering Horde, which I go to kill, and like, they all just keep walking straight. It's like, they're all like, walk, 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 die. That was it. These zombies are super dumb in this alpha. And so I decide to hop into this cool looking this abandoned survivor's home. And what do I hear? Just wait. I hear a cop. And then I bust down that door and there's a feral thick in there. And like by this point, I'm pooping my pants out of fear. And this is the first radiated zombie. And of course it has to be a spitting cop. And of course it does. And so I run up onto these roofs. And it's just... I'm scared. I'm scared. It's day 6. I have a pistol. And I like run out of ammo. And like, I just have a sledgehammer against some of the hardest enemies in the game. And then the cop explodes. And the whole place comes tumbling down, and it all goes bye-bye. That didn't make sense at all. I'm bad at one-liners. And after all of that, I go to crack open the safe. Tell me what you see down there. Let's get a little closer. It's called a mine. And I decide to walk right into it. So I have to run over probably a kilometer. And I know I sound lazy, but it's like far in this game. So I run back, get my stuff, and I do loot the safe. And it was just more gun parts. It was just more gun parts. It was, see, it's just gun parts and more gun parts and more gun parts. That's all everything is in this. And it wasn't even, it was just two. It was 2 gun parts. It was crap. And I'm searching this safe. Crap. I know for like someone who's new, it's crap. So after all the shenanigans of day 6, I went home. So by the morning of day 7, I realized I don't have a horde base. And so I decided to go build one. First I designed it in wood, and it's just going to be a simple fighting cage, but I'm not in them with it. I'm kind of in the cage, and they're on the outside, and I'm whacking them with my sledge. And so at the time, I was like, oh, I don't have enough iron to upgrade my blocks, so I gotta make cobblestone blocks. And I make the cobblestone blocks, so here's me upgrading them. And they only have like 1,000 or 1,500 depending on how high. Like it starts at 1,000 and goes to 1,500, then stops there unless you have concrete. And so that's not going to be enough because I've watched them break through like 2,500. And so I just put these plates on them, of which I upgrade. And so that just backfires kind of on the Horde Knight because like they break some and then that's the immediate weak point, which isn't good. So it kind of... And then I was harvesting resources and I chased a bear, or the bear chased me into my house. And it was like... cool, free meat, but it was zombie, so I couldn't even benefit off of it. So I put a bunch of bars on the base, and they don't work because you can't shoot through blocks yet, apart from frames. And I do notice the airdrop, which I do run off to. I It's also day 7, which means the zombies respawn, and so the zombies respawn in my base, even though I had a claim down, which doesn't make any sense. And so I was out collecting resources, and I heard the zombie. I'm like, oh, let me go kill him, and he just whacks me, and I die. Probably on the worst possible day to die. After lunch on day 7. And now I have like 70 health, or oh no, it was 90. Oh, I wasn't that bad off. And so me being the genius, I put fuel drums and barbed wire outside of my horde base. Not even enough to cover it, but trust me. So, for horde night, gotta drink all the juice, gotta hype myself up for it. I gotta get in that mentality. And here we go. After a while, I jacked up the zombie amount because, like, I killed them all. But how would I rate this now? I would rate it an entire bag of Doritos out of... No, I'm not. I need to make a rating system. Probably an 8 out of 10. The combat is, like, not that good. But it's, like, there. But everything else is amazing. Like, you have a good progression, you have good skills. The gun system I really do like, because all those gun parts, I know I complained a lot, but it was good. And also, it was super fun experiencing the game I watched, but not the game I played after 3 years. Big wave.